listening to
Catholic Sprout,
the daily podcast for Catholic kids that strives to plant seeds of faith.
Greetings, young Squire Sprouts. Today is the 6th day in the first month in the year of our Lord 2024. My name is Sir Roland Paterlot, and you're listening to Saturdays with Sir Roland on Catholic Sprouts, where every Saturday we discuss the art of dragon slaying. I missed all of you the last couple weeks, and I hope you had blessed Christmas and New Year's celebrations. January 6th has a lot of celebrations tied to it as well. For one, it is traditionally the feast of the Epiphany of the Lord, when we celebrate the Magi from the East coming to give gifts to the baby Jesus, although we will celebrate that feast tomorrow at Mass. Today is also my daughter, Lady Isabel's birthday, so happy birthday, Lady Isabel. And it is the feast of St. André Bessette. St. André Bessette lived in Canada in the late 1800s and early 1900s, and from the time he was a child, he had a great devotion to St. Joseph. His health was very poor, so he suffered a great deal, and when he was 12 years old, both of his parents died, so he was adopted. He had many types of jobs. He was a farmhand for his adopted parents, and then he tried being a shoemaker, a baker, a blacksmith, but he failed at all those jobs. And then he applied for entrance into the Congregation of the Holy Cross, and at first he was denied because of his poor health. But eventually, at the urging of his bishop, they let him in and assigned him to the job of being the doorman, where he had to face and defeat the red dragon of pride with his humility. St. Andre said, "When I joined this community, my superior showed me the door, and I remained there for 40 years. He was a very humble man, much like St. Joseph, and because he was often sick, he had a special empathy for those who were sick. He would visit them and rub oil from the chapel lamp on them, and many of them were healed. When an epidemic broke out in a college nearby, he volunteered as a nurse, and nobody died. Word of his healing power began to spread, but he said, 'I do not cure, St. Joseph cures.' Eventually, he was able to have a chapel built on Mount Royal in honor of St. Joseph, and people came from all over to visit him. He lived to the ripe old age of 92 and was canonized in 2010. St. André Bessette is a great saint to discuss to begin our new year of 2024, because it's around this time of year that we often talk about New Year's resolutions, which is all about forming better habits to be better dragon slayers. And I was thinking, St. Andre grew up without a lot of the modern conveniences that you and I take for granted today. Back then, they had less medicine and no TVs and no electric lights or refrigerators or cars or internets or cell phones or tablets or computer games or anything like that. I remember my grandpa talking about how they had to walk 2 miles uphill to school every day, both ways, through rain and fog and blizzards. They had to chop wood and grow their own food and hunt and do chores all the time. It was a tough life back then, and dragon slaying was challenging. But today, in the world you and I live in, dragon slaying is darn near impossible. There aren't just dragons lurking in the shadows. We live in a world where dragons are everywhere, right out in the open, accepted as a normal part of life. There's temptations everywhere. Sin is often celebrated, and much of the training that was naturally built into life, like hard work and survival skills and serving others, has been stripped away. We live in a world with a lot of comforts and servants of our own. We can get into a hunk of metal and go 55 miles an hour down the road any place we want. We can go to the grocery store and get in any food we want, in or out of season. We can set our thermostat to any temperature we want, and we have magic boxes that we can turn on to entertain ourselves for hours with Netflix and TV shows and video games. We have those small little magic rectangles that we can put in our pockets, and they let us talk to anybody in the world. Of course, that would be awkward to talk to them, so we usually don't actually talk anymore. We just text them things with emojis showing emotions we don't really feel, or words like LOL when we're not even actually laughing. And if we want to ignore them, we just pretend we don't see their message. Those little magic rectangles can do just about anything and tell us anything we want to know. We can say, "Hey Siri, what's 70 times 7? Or, "Hey Siri, how do you spell platypus?" Or, "Hey Siri, how much would it cost to ship my brother to Fiji?" We can order a toy on that little rectangle at the push of a button and just wait a day or two and it shows up at our door. Or we can order a pizza and it's there in a matter of minutes. We can play games and watch videos for hours on end. We don't even have to go outside anymore. We can say to our little servant, "Hey Alexa, open the garage door," or "Alexa, tell my sister upstairs it's time to eat dinner because I don't want to walk all the way up there," or "Alexa, play my favorite song," or "turn on the lights," because, flipping that switch can be exhausting. Heck, we don't even have to get up and change the channel on our TVs or turn up the volume. We can stay right on the couch and use a remote. In fact, they don't even put buttons on TVs anymore, which is one of my pet peeves. Obviously, those people don't have little kids whose sole mission in life seems to be to hide the remote, leaving us with no way to work the TV. Oh, I know, I'm supposed to use my little magic rectangle in my pocket to work my TV, but sorry, I guess I'm old-fashioned and I don't want to use my little rectangle. Okay, I'm done rambling about the joys of modern technology. Don't get me wrong, the medicines and technology and modern inventions can be used for tremendous good, and they should be. In fact, you're listening to this podcast right now because of modern technology. It can and should be used to build the kingdom of heaven. But we also need to be aware that dragons will try to use this stuff too to make us lazy and trip us up. The orange dragon of envy and blue dragon of wrath love to hang out on social media. The indigo dragon of gluttony and green dragon of greed will tell you all the food and all the stuff you can get at the click of a button. They'll try to make our lives as easy as possible because, you know what? Lazy and comfortable people are easy to defeat. In fact, there's a quote from a novel that says, "Hard times create strong men. Strong men create good times. Good times create weak men. And weak men create hard times." And then the cycle continues. You see, the easier your life is, the harder it is to learn to slay dragons. So I came up with a rhyme to start your new year. Without dragons to slay, you can't find your way. So my challenge for you this week is to be thankful for the challenges you face. That tough class in school, those chores your parents make you do, that annoying sibling you have to learn to love, those inconvenient illnesses, those disappointments, those temptations trying to pull you away from doing what is right. All those dragons you have to face in life. Challenges make you stronger. Do hard things and seek challenging adventures because in today's world, it takes self-discipline to train to be a dragon slayer. Speaking of doing hard things, I told you in my last podcast of 2023 that I had a surprise for you in 2024. Well, as you may know, I've been working really hard on writing a book for all of you with dozens of the coolest images of dragons and saints and weapons and armor that you've ever seen. My whole family has been working on it for over a year. I've discovered that writing a book is really, really hard. I've started over again and faced many dragons, and I regret to inform you that I won't have a book for you in 2024. I'll actually have 7 books. That's right. I decided to make it a series of 7 books, 7 short stories of how I had to face, fight, and defeat each of the 7 deadly dragons. Our first book, The Red Dragon of Pride, should release hopefully by Easter, and we plan to release each of the books about a month apart after that. I hope you will read them and look at all the cool pictures. For more information, watch our Training Guild emails and check our new webpage, extraordinarymission.com/7deadlydragons with the number 7. And until next week, I'll leave you under the protection of St. Michael the Great Archangel, St. Joseph the Terror of Dragons, and Mary, Queen of the Angels, Our Lady of Grace, and the woman whose seed crushed the head of the dragon.
That's it for Catholic Sprouts today. We'll be back tomorrow, but until then, continue to grow in your faith and truly sprout into the beautiful creation that God created you to be.
Hey, parents and kids, our resource of the week for the Dragon Slayers Training Guild is a Dragon Slayers prayer that we hope you'll join us in saying each day to help us to be great Dragon Slayers. Check your Training Guild email for the prayer and for more exciting information about our new book series. If you're not in our Training Guild yet, please register for free at extraordinarymission.com/dragonslayers, or you can go to our new webpage, extraordinarymission.com/7deadlydragons. And remember, listen to Catholic Sprouts every day, including Saturdays with Sir Roland.
This podcast is part of the Spoke Street Network. For more great podcasts, visit spokestreet.com.